Welcome to the second session of Pop Open Mic, and it is August 18th, 2024, and I'm so glad to have all of these beautiful people here today and to contribute to our event. So thank you all for being here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and Zan Johns will be actually our co-host for the second round. I'm putting her to work today. Just when she thought she had a break, she didn't. So, but she will be in charge of round two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call upon you in the order that you are basically on the screen, I think. Well, yeah. Well, no, not really. But in the order that you actually signed in. So we're going to go to Greg Etsell first. If you want to unmute yourself, Greg, and everybody please mute your mics. Everyone else mute your mics.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So Greg, what I want you to do, and when everybody, the first round, we're going to have 3 rounds, 1 poem per round. And in the first round, I want you to give a brief introduction of yourself before you recite your poem. Okay. And so take it away, Greg.
Hello, my name is Greg Etsell, and I live here in Florida. And I was born in Utah, Price, Utah. And I love literature and music. And my first poem is, I just wrote. It is called The Summer Grass. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the smell of fresh cut grass on a summer day. Summer grass. As the tall summer grass sways in the wind. As I lay in the tall grass, I looked up at the sky. I can hear children playing. Hide and seek. I peek at them in the tall grass, summer grass. The sky is blue. The sun is bright. I'm sitting in the park on fresh cut grass, having fun in the sun, listening to a lark. I hear a dog bark, watching people walk by, people eating picnic lunches, all on summer grass. How about that?
That was beautiful, Greg. Your work is always beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you indeed. So we have almost everyone here. We have one participant that isn't here yet. If she shows up, we'll go ahead and let her come on in. Next, we have the angelic person in the middle, Cristian. Yeah, that'd be you, Romero Diaz. Oh, I pronounced your name wrong, though. You corrected me on how I pronounced your name. How is it pronounced properly?
Yes, because you used to say Cristian Romero Diaz. It's not Diaz. It's I'm not Diaz. I'm Diaz. I'm Diaz.
Yes.
Indeed. Do I have to introduce myself, or can I read a poem first?
Well, introduce yourself first, and then if you'd read your poem, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Anita. Well, I was born in Santiago de Chile. Uh, I had a little temptation appointment, so just in case I forget, because I forgot most everything. I'm a poet, writer, multi-track artist, chef, and voice of a radio show that I have. That's called Vivir es Sentir. Hay no dilemma. Translation would be to live is to feel. There's no dilemma. I participated in several anthologies on different continents. I was being interviewed by television, newspaper, Greek magazine, Spanish. Um, well, I'm a poet. I'm a writer. Art relax my mind and my body. So that's why I'm on chef. I like to observe the beauty of even in the food. It's very important. And I had two published books so far, and I'm so honored to be part of the Amnesia President's Poetry. And we have a project that will, with the God's blessing, it will be amazing in this next time, next month. And that would be. Uh, Anita, I sent you something through Messenger. Do you think it's possible when I'm reading the poem, you put the image of the design I made? Do you think that's possible?
I'm sorry, say that one more time because I know speak Christian, so you have to say it really
Okay,
slow.
you speak Annette, but you don't speak Christian. Okay, so I send you an image to Messenger of Facebook, and can you put the image? Can you put it alive while I'm reading the poem? Because it's an image that contains the poem, and it
Um,
was made for that poem. Also.
I don't know
Possible?
how I'm trying to figure out how I can. Um,
Well, what do
um,
you manage if you can do it or not? If it is possible,
I
I'll read
think,
the poem.
yeah, I don't think I can like split screen you to do that. Or wait a second, hold on. Let me let me see if I can. Um, you threw me a curveball, friend. Look at you. Let's see if we can.
Well, I
Let's
didn't know.
see.
I'm sorry, but
No,
I'll read the poem. So don't worry.
okay. Well, I'm
Um,
just getting ready to download it. If you want me to see if I can bring it up here real quick. So it'll be and then my dogs
don't
are.
worry. I read the poem. Don't worry about it. Thinking that no, no, there's no trouble at all. And the poem is called Fragments, and it says like this: The wind made its nakedness between layers of whispers and fire faces. It touches liquid and radiates with song in its voice. The permission of the silent bubble, ridden with wine and vigorous in the ephemeral. It carries rolls and grows in this space of a thousand colors, of solemnscapes and sentence cuts. I welcome the mirrors of pain. I transmute them into life and I cover them with joy, healing the soul and the warm blanket that is our skin. Everything remains in its nemesis. Nothingness governs when it's worthy the full meaning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. I even tried
I thank you. I know it was a thing of last time, but I apologize for it.
I even tried to actually put that in our chat, but I don't know how to do it. But I will get it to us if nothing else through that private thread, so people can look at it later. Um, I will do that. But thank you so much, Christian. I'm not going to say the rest of your name because I'll mess it up. So I'm just not going to do it.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you
So
so much, Anita.
thank you. So next up, we have dear Kathy Joe Blake Bryant. You have been a member, I think, of Pop from like the very beginning, haven't you, Kathy Joe?
I think pretty much, pretty much.
So
Yeah.
tell us
So,
about you. Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm Kathy Jo Bryant, and I've always loved words. I love poetry, and I haven't been doing it as much as I had or more. I've been doing it more than in the past because I didn't really have a platform. But once I got on Facebook and these different groups, I took off, and especially Passionate Poetry. It's kind of my mother mother group, and all these people are pretty familiar to me. And I have 4 published books, which is a joy to me. And I hope you enjoy the first poem that I have to read. It's quite recent because I wrote it for an anthology. And it's My Friend Down the Street. There is a friend right down my street who is a fine friend you'd like to meet. She takes me places we like to go. One place holds charm. We love it so. There's jellies, jams, and things all pickled. I could outfit a kitchen and be so tickled. Gadgets and gizmos and plaques for your wall attract one's attention, guaranteed to enthrall. There is much to see wherever you look. Sets of bowls, cups, and dishes in many a nook. There are cute little aprons and pots and pans, yummy food to purchase in bags or in cans. It's a quaint country place you'd want to visit. You might say many times, "Oh, wow, what is it?" I'm hoping we'll go to some more cool places. A swell friend to know. She's a swell friend to know. I sing her praises.
Thank you, Kathy Jo.
You're very
That was
welcome.
wonderful. And I'm always amused by your poetry. You just always come up with clever things. And I just always been
Thank
amazed.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
enjoy reading. You're very welcome.
And next we have the beautiful, our co-host for round 2. And that is the beautiful Zan Johns from Colorado.
Colorado. Hello, everyone. It's so fun to be here. Colorado, USA is where I live. I grew up in the southern part of this country, Louisiana. I have 3 poetry collections. I published the What Matters Journal, and I am also a co-author in 4 collaborative books. I'm proud to be a pop administrator and an editor for the Fine Lines Journal. The poem that I'm going to share today is called Empty Nest. As children leave for college, this is a poem dedicated to those parents left behind. The nest was never intended as a permanent place to stay. Our birds, we must surrender as we watch them fly away. We nurture and we mold them while they're in the nest. When it's their time to venture out, they've already passed the test. It's not the birds I fret about. They fly away without fear. We parents may need comforting. Our next move is not always clear. Do we leave their rooms unaltered? Should we call them every day? Do we trust that they're all ready to handle any trial they face? When my birds left the nest, grateful tears I shed with glee. I changed their rooms to office space so they could no longer live with me. I love my children dearly. These birds are flying high. Their wings will not betray them. On my love and wisdom, they rely. Thank you.
Love that. I can relate to that too.
Uh-huh.
They grow their wings and they fly away.
That
So
was marvelous, if I can say, marvelous. Just
Thank you so much.
wonderful. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank you.
and I'm sure you shared that with your children.
Oh,
Yeah.
So do they
they laugh.
appreciate it? Do they appreciate it?
Yes.
I
That
wrote a
was
song. I wrote a song for my children, and they never even said anything.
Oh no.
But we
What?
will.
Not one of them.
Uh,
So it's all good. That's kind of someday they'll look at my stuff. I always tell them, don't just be throwing books away. You need to go through them and make sure I'm not in there somewhere.
that's right.
So that was marvelous, Miss Jan, Zan Johns. And is your husband around today, by the way?
He's hiding.
I think he's scared of me. Actually, I think he's scared of me, and that's why he's hiding.
He said he
But
might be called on screen.
he did a marvelous job that time.
He
So
did.
our next guest disappeared. I guess he's having some problems. So we're going to go to the next person, and that is dear Sarfraz. And I'm going to go to you and introduce yourself, if you would, dear.
Hi, I'm Sarfraz Ahmed. I'm a poet and writer from the UK. I've written, believe it or not, 10 books of poetry and one book of a children's book. I've also been an editor about twice and probably a third time this year as well. I've been on numerous anthologies, too many to count, to be fair, and I just feel really lucky to be here, to be fair. I've been writing for over 20 years and I'm playing catch up with trying to get my poetry out there as well. Today I'm going to read from this book, The Confessions of a Romantic Poet, which came out, I think it came out just over the summer, to be fair. And this poem is called The New York Times Rejection Letter. Because I heard about so many people poets getting rejected from the New York Times that I felt, what would I do if I sent in my poem, and what would I do with the rejection letter? And this is my poem to that. I framed my letter of rejection, put it on my mantelpiece way up high, knowing that one day I would draw a crowd. People would come from miles and miles just to see the letter from the New York Times informing me of my rejected poetry, telling the world that it was not meant to be. Somehow it failed to dumbfound me, throw me in fits of rage. Ripped the page instead, it humbled me so, made me glow. In a strange way, it normalized me, grounded me, set me free, made me feel like any other poet in history. In years to come, my letter of rejection became a thing of beauty, placed upon my mantelpiece way up high, to love and cherish until the day I die. Thank you. I hope you like that.
It was beautiful as always, as always.
outstanding, Sarfraz.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You got an outstanding. Yay.
Woo,
So-
woo, woo.
Yoo-hoo.
Very
Dr.
unique, Sarfraz.
Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you all.
Dr. Rantan Ghosh, I think he has disappeared. So hopefully he'll rejoin us at some point. But in the meantime, we are moving on to Ekta. Beautiful. You are up next, and introduce yourself, darling.
So, hello everyone, and I would like to thank Annette uh, for organizing this pop session again. And it's lovely to be here with wonderful poets. And my name is Ekta Ahuja, and I have published 2 ebooks. Some of my projects are, yet to be, are in progress and yet to come. So, I have been part of various anthologies, and I love, and it has been a great journey for me to be a pop admin. So today I will recite a poem of mine. The title of my poem is From Where I Stand. I wrote this poem recently in the month of May, and the poem is like this. From where I stand, I witness the world in my own way. I feel the sky full of gay. I am grateful to Mother Earth, respectful to Mother who gave me birth. From where I stand, I can understand the negativity, introduce a barrier to its longevity. I can sense the atrocious smile, select a surrounding which is worthwhile. From where I stand, I know the masqueraded near and dear, their ill intentions, actions, and their fear. I realize those who are closer can harm you the most. To be natural, they have to laugh more and boast. From where I stand, I feel the inner strength and learnings. I am grateful to God for the precious blessings. I cherish the connection with Mother Nature, unbiased, who nourishes everyone equally, lovingly, takes care. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Um, you know, amazing poets we have in this session. Not that the poets in the last session weren't good because they were equally good, but I really don't put it out there as a criteria, but y'all are wonderful. And next we have Farida. I'm so happy to see your beautiful face, and I've never seen it animated before, so this is the first time. I'm going to give you the stage if you want to introduce yourself and recite your poem, please.
Okay. Um, I am Farida Fanaswala. I was born and I grew up in Bombay, and I live in a city which is a little far from Bombay, but not very far. And I studied, I was a practicing lawyer in the Bombay High Court and also a qualified nurse, apart from being a yoga teacher. So when lockdown happened, I used all this experience to start writing poems. And especially that was the time that POP also came up. And once I joined POP, my passion for writing just increased. I have two children. I live with my husband over here. My one son is in UK and one is a doctor in Bombay. So that's about me, and I practice IPR law. I will read a poem which I had written once on my way from Bombay to Pune, where I stay. And it's a little, it describes how a person who's always very arrogant or egoistic, how they lose their ability to think clearly. And the ego takes away all your good virtues. So the title of my poem, I shall begin now. The title is When Ego Talks, the Soul Hibernates. When ego talks, the soul hibernates. Wisdom is lost and vanity celebrates. Humility is pulled down as pride inflates. Greed and power become your best mates. When ego talks, the soul hibernates. Fame is but a short-term friend. Fame is but a short-term friend. Success too will soon come to an end. But when your mind you humbly bend from material attachments, anger and pride it will packing send. From material attachments, a path deviates. When ego talks, the soul hibernates. Without ego, we will discover that our self is true love. No one to judge, nothing to observe. Peace comes to us, we forgive and serve. Human spirit towards universal energy elevates. When ego talks, the soul hibernates. Thank you.
I love that. When the ego talks, the soul hibernates. That's
I
wonderful.
love that poem.
Isn't
Thank
it
you.
amazing what people think of? That was great.
It's a bit heavy.
Yeah. Who knew? I'm trying to think if my soul was hibernating. Let me think about it. I'll get back with you. So,
Mine does not hibernate. They're sleeping all day long.
Well, I just smack my ego when it comes out.
you're so funny. So Dr. Ranton, he came on for a second. I didn't take him from the backstage because when I do that, I've noticed that if I click on them to add them to the stage, then the person that's center stage, it goes out of that screen. So I was waiting to bring him back in. So he hasn't signed on again yet. So unfortunately, that leaves me. So at the end of the round, if he signs on, we certainly will bring him on in. So I am going to read a poetry one called a poetry one. Isn't that unique? I'm going to read a poem that's a poetry one. That's just wrong, isn't it? I do not put me center stage because I do not like seeing the big me on the screen. So I'll see all your beautiful faces. So if you're bored and you're sleeping during my poem, you will be there for the world to see. So just letting you know ahead of time. You're going like that, they'll see you.
We'll sit like this.
Okay, here we go. This is called The Hunger of the Poet. Alan Johnson did this one for me. Actually, he did it, and I ran into it a year later, and I watched it, and I was like, did I write that? That's really pretty good. Can't believe I wrote that. So, but that's because he was narrating it, and I don't narrate it quite as well as he. So this is The Hunger of the Poet, and I'm going to add him to the stage. I'm going to add you to the stage, and we'll be right with you in just a moment, sir. The Hunger of the Poet. The hunger of the poet is fed by words, manipulated into a myriad of stanzas, as his pen greedily begins to ink the stark white pages of paper, his mind conjuring tales of truth or fiction, perhaps both, as he embellishes simple truths and sprinkles them with mindful imaginations. He is compelled to write, for if he does not act upon his choreographed lines that flood his conscience, he will become physically ill from suppression. Formation of his word art is unleashed at the break of day, like the rushing waters that cascade from a waterfall. There is no defined beginning or ending of his journey. Poetry was there from inception, sometimes lying dormant for years until an event in time occurs, opening the portal to the poet's soul. Once poetry creatively is awakened, the poet is compelled to write as life feeds the hunger that yearns to have full reign and is not dictated by conformity. There are no rules that will sequester the ink from spilling, the thoughts from accumulating, nor will his imagination be confined into social adherence. The catalysts that prompt his writings are limitless, as his emotions further fuel the hunger that is insatiable, oblivious to the undertones, always half empty. The only promise of a cure from his epidemic hunger is the intuitive knowledge that the promise of tomorrow will squelch the gnawing briefly, satisfied that the ink shall spill again. All right.
Love that, Annette. That was cool. Love it.
Thank you. We need
Bravo.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. So we are
No,
done with
even more. Brava.
brava.
Yeah.
No speaker Christian. No speaker Christian. So
Me neither.
my phone doesn't speak. My phone does not speak in that. I don't know how your phones are.
We can learn Annette, but Cristian is understandable.
So we are on round 2, and we are going back to the beginning. We keep losing Dr. Ghosh, I don't know what happens. Let me see if I thought a message popped up from him. Maybe not, but anyway, if he pops up again, we'll try to get him on real quick. So we're starting from the beginning again. So we are back to Mr. Greg Etsell.
Thank you. Yeah.
1 minute. Can I say something, Annette?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on just a moment. Yes.
I have actually foreign. I just have to leave for this session, so I will take permission to leave
You
as of now.
do
So
you have time to share another poem before you go or no?
yeah, I can share, but I think uh, uh, i- if it's okay, I will leave for this time because there is an urgent requirement to leave.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so I'm so sorry, everyone. I have to leave like this, and
Okay.
uh, maybe in the next session I'll be there for the whole part. So it was wonderful with you all, and I will say bye for this session.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence, and have a good rest of your day, my dear.
I same to you all. Have a nice
Take care,
Sunday.
the Ekta.
Yeah. Take
Yeah.
care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, step
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Greg,
Sure.
if you
Yes.
could
Bye bye.
mute your mic, we're going to go to Dr. Ranton Ghosh,
Thank
and since he came back on, and if you, so sir, I would like you to introduce yourself as well as, since we've been having problems with you going on and off, why don't you try and recite 2 poems this time? So you can do it for the first and second session, so we don't miss out on you should you lose connectivity again.
Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Namaskar. I have 6 collection of poetry books. I'm an editor, poet, short story writer, and novelist. I have published short story book published from Canada, and I have edited so far 7 books, 7 poetry books I have edited. This is the latest one, and this one is also bestseller. And I have 6 poetry books of my own, and a novel is ready to be published very soon. Another thing is that I have a publication house also, an international publication house, Bharat International Publication. It's a traditional publication house. And moreover, I have a society. I organize every year international programs too. I'm happy and thank you, Annette, to invite me in this program. And I'm really fortunate to be invited. I'll read a poem from my upcoming poetry book titled Genocide 1946. This book is based on the genocide of East Bengal, that is, during partition of India or Bharat. You know, India was divided initially into 2 parts. Later, Pakistan was divided into 2. That is East Pakistan, my homeland was there. From that homeland, we had to flee, and we were refugees and came to India. And the loss, the separation, the loss of homeland, all these things, even today, pain me, pain my heart. That's why the latest collection titled Genocide 1946. It's a brutal genocide, which is not recorded in the history of namely because of political reasons. Now I'm trying to replete poetry in the form of history. From this book, I'm going to read a poem titled I can't fly. I can fly in my sky. I can't fly in my sky. I feel my neurons. No more can carry the words. Being born as other in my homeland. I late cross the border with the heavy load of flared words. I once put them words in my spare ribs to write up the pains in my own words. But, by the time I fell into a ditch of red flags, I fell into a ditch of red flags, crossing the rivers, lagoons, and coastal seas. How wonder I forgot my spare ribs. I forgot those words supposed to breathe the novella of my life. Those were supposed to breathe the novella of my life. If by chance, many times, they flattered in my veins, I pulled them back again and again, not to print my pains. I locked them in my spare ribs to sleep in a pocket of appeasement and greed. I forgot flying in the waves of pains. I forgot flying in the waves of pains. I am digging up my own fate. I am digging up my own fate. Thank you.
Marvelous. Now, that was just one poem that you shared, sir? Do you
Sorry?
have another poem you would like to share? A second poem?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to share. A skeleton, published in this poem also published in Spielberg Space. Skeleton title. Walking through the skeletons of bygone years, I look for the untold words and tales buried deep in the bed of Padma river. I walk, stoop down, and dig off the skin of my lost bed, not with a spade or an axe, but with my deep veins. I don't, for decades, in my lonely neurons, where the untold words and tales of my forefathers are embedded with prayers, chokings, and bleeding drops of blood. I still sob for the lost heaven, my homeland, where the skeletons of my forefathers are still living in dark deep like corpses. You killed and buried in a fit of madness. I miss my heavenly place, my ancestral home of the East, my ancestral house of the East, for days, years, and months in grief, for days, years, and months in grief.
Beautiful poetry. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So glad that you shared all that with us. We are starting round 2, and I apologize because I overstepped my boundaries. I have put someone else in charge of that, Zan, and I apologize. So we're really starting, I guess, with the top of it, which would be Greg. And if you want to take over, that would be wonderful. And I apologize for stepping on your toes there. So take it away.
As you can see, I wrote in the chat, I'm happy if you continue. Greg,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and I'm ignoring it. So there you go.
you're ignoring my note. Well, I'm challenged because I know that Greg is our next presenter, but to bring him to screen, will he automatically come up?
I think I have to control it. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we just wanted to see your beautiful face, big there for a while.
All right. Thank you. I'm happy to bring Greg back to the screen.
Thank you. Thank you. My next poem is also a new poem that I wrote about 8 days ago. It is called Poetry in the Wind. Speak softly as you whisper. blows in the wind. They close their eyes and feel the whisper in their ears, for it is poetry in the wind. As you speak softly and whisper in the wind, the world will hear your poem. A poem has a fragrance all its own. Every poet knows it, and it smells as sweet as a rose. It's poetry in the wind. Speak softly and whisper across the universe. Your poem will be heard as it whispers in their ears. A wonderful feeling comes across their face as they all stand in place in the grace of a poem. There's just poetry in the wind. Thank you.
That was
Wow,
great, Greg.
that was amazing. I
Greg, that
love
was amazing.
Thank you.
poems about the wind, whispers in the wind. How sweet to
Thank
think of
you.
the
Thank
fragrance.
you, Dan.
Indeed, that was superb. Congratulations, Greg.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you, Greg.
thank you.
So our next presenter is Cristian. Are you going to bring us a joke and something nice to eat with your poem?
Something nice to eat, definitely. Poetry, I'm not so sure. We'll see. Well, this is poem from my book. Translation would be The Birth of the Light, available in Amazon, but this is translated to English and says like this. Sunbeam, silent, singing, among the crowd, sowing light, go, the pure spores, the cypher, the purity, and powerful larks, so precious in the rainbow hues of mid-heaven, starting a whispers from the details altogether, lighted choir, naked under the soprano reasons for the first, regrowth by the well-known ringlet, like the time in the enraptured body, by the reborn echoes of dawn, conspired diaphanous and admire late reflections, accompanying themselves and the detonated mirror, which with the hours fly in and out of the rhythm, deafened like death, with the rose without voice. The night falls, the dark crosses itself, so that in a hallowed shield of light join the generous strands to full arms, touching the sun with its rays, all of them vital, tender, and acting in the divine function, together and small. Thank you so much.
That's great, Christian.
You write so beautifully, Cristian. You really
Yeah.
do.
And your recital was beautiful. I love your book cover, Cristian. And I'm always excited when I hear poems that talk about the sun and rainbows. You took us
Thank you
on
so
a
much to everyone. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Kelly Joe, Greg, Farida, Sarfraz, Dr. Ratan. It's a real and enlightening experience to be here among all this amazing talent, and you are incredible. The poetry here takes a new
Mm.
merge of art, and I'm very grateful to be here.
We're happy you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Our next amazing poet is Kathy Joe. And I had the honor of writing the foreword for Kathy's latest poetry collection.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled about that. And Annette's her input to what she
Yes.
shared. You girls are amazing. Okay, this poem is quite recent because I wrote it for a picture prompt. I thought it was kind of cool, kind of different. It's waiting at his door. A meditative look she has, hoping that he'll answer and give another chance for him to once again romance her. When he had come to call on her and accidentally left his hat, deliberately she did not speak so she could come to him and chat. She spent much time so she could plan for every opportunity to be with him and love him so, even wearing her best perfumery. So as she waits right by his door, she's still, but her heart pounds loudly, hoping he'll be home and answer as she breathes a prayer so devoutly.
Wow.
Woo,
So
woo, 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 woo.
Thank you,
Thumbs
everyone.
up.
Yeah,
Kathy Joe, I love your rhymes. It's the
thank
and
you.
perfumery. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
The anticipation
Don't
in
you
that.
love words?
I love words, and you share them beautifully. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you,
Thank you
thank
so much.
you. That's
So,
great.
should I skip over myself, Annette, and go to?
No, I think you should just go
You
in
think I should
order.
just go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna, since Kathy Joe talked about anticipation and waiting on the suitor, I'm gonna share a poem with a little pizzazz, and it's titled "Steppin'." And "Steppin" appears in a new anthology that I co-edited with Lisa Tummy Zonneveld. I don't know if you could see it, but it's called Cadence. And it has a lot of rhythm in this book. Sarfraz is featured in there with wonderful expressions as well. So, stepping. I step into a room as if the red soles of these got it from my mama shoes reveal riveting tales of resilience, because they do. I've been through some things, wearing my wish I hadn't done that shoes. You know, the ones we wear into the ground, wishing we could switch into some comfortable running shoes for the really hard lessons. I exhausted my bad attitude shoes. I mean, the toxic, I don't give a crock pumps, pumped up to no good. Not long before I understood that path was not paved with good intentions. When trials appear, I cling to hope that centers me. I polish my wish upon a star shoes, the ones with the slingbacks and toes pointing me in the right direction. I get serious. I pray, I revel in grace, dust myself off, put on my bring home the bacon shoes, the sure footed ones with the sturdy heel. I step into my purpose and don't look back. Thank you.
Off the charts, then. Off the charts.
Thank you so
Cool.
much. That's fine, Rose.
Yeah,
Listen to you,
yeah.
Danny. It's an experience of poetry and art. Thank you for writing and reading like that.
Thank you for that. That was fun. Okay, so who's next? The romantic poet. Don't step on him. Surprise. Take it away.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It's been amazing listening to your poetry. I think it's one of the best open mics so far. Annette, you've done yourself proud. Well done. Well done. I think it's been long overdue. I think last time I forgot to mention two things about me that I've had, say 12 months or so. Is I've been doing open mic. So I've been doing open mic in lots of festivals. I was performing last night and to a live audience. So I've come away from sort of like the small screen to the big screen to the up on the stage. So yeah, that's good. And also My this year, a producer took 18 tracks of my poetry, well, 18 poems, and made them into tracks, and they're all on SoundCloud if you want to get them for free. And they've been downloaded and made into some really hip, cool summer anthems. So that's pretty good. Okay, so my last poem on this open mic is a romantic poem for all you romantics out there, and I know you love this kind of stuff, but this is one of my poems from kind of the latest book, which is called If My Tears Were Stars. If my tears were stars, they'll fill the galaxy, Jupiter and Mars. They'd illuminate the night sky every time I would cry. Every time a tear would fall, every time I would call your name, they'd burn me again and again. If my tears were stars, they'll rupture me blind, as I would think of all that I've left behind, all that I miss, all the ones I loved once upon a time, a long time ago. Next time you glance up to the night sky, you might be overwhelmed by the bright lights way up high, the illumination, the constellations and the glow. Maybe then you'll know I miss you so. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sarfraz. This is actually
No
round
problem.
two.
No
This is
problem.
round two, so we have one more round, Sarfraz, actually.
Oh, we got another round.
Oh, cool.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so it's not the end. There's more to come. Okay, I've got another one for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, wiki for everything.
I have many more.
We know you have more, Sarfraz.
I
That
have more.
was imagine tears as stars shining in the sky. Boy, that one touches me. I love it. Thank you.
Zeran, that was awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It means so much because you don't know if a poem's any good unless someone actually tells you and says, well, I actually quite like that. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You should have felt that one as your pen wrote it. It's fabulous.
Oh,
That
thank you.
phrase, tears
Yeah.
are stars in the sky, is really so
I'll never look at the sky again.
touches your
Oh,
heart.
if my
Sweetheart,
tears
I'll
were
look at it
stars.
The
the
pulse
same
of one's heart.
Thank you, Farida. Thank you so much. It means so much. Thank you.
And congratulations on your
Success.
recordings.
It's
Thank
such a
you.
wonderful
That's thank you.
cause, Rockland.
Okay.
Thanks,
So
Greg.
who's next,
Yeah.
Farida. Beautiful Farida, please share like you did before. Thank you.
Now I will share a poem, which is a story. Sometimes we are sometimes facing a situation in which we cannot go either ways. We are at crossroads, but on all the sides we find blockades or problems, and we don't know where to go. So this poem is a poem, but it's a story rather, and I have written it in a poetry form. It's about a pregnant deer, and the title of my poem is Turn Your Destiny in Adversity. Once a pregnant deer went for her delivery to a river near. She hoped to give birth to her fawn on the jungle's soft, marshy lawn. When she reached the venue, the sky suddenly changed its hue. Dark clouds bursting into loud thunder, terrifying lightning above. She could still just stand near. In labor, when the deer was ready to deliver, she saw a hunter aim an arrow at her. Lightning struck, setting the forest on fire, and left the riverside burning in a fiery attire. She then saw a lion menacingly charging forward, but leaving it to fate, and without being a coward, The deer did not run in this crucial condition, but focused on her delivery in the same position. On one side was the lion charging, on the other, a shooter aiming. I want you all to listen to the story with attention. River on the other side, and opposite, a forest burning. In the center stood the deer in severe labor pain. Que sera sera, without getting afraid, to deliver her little fawn, she prayed. Rain settled the fire, and the dark storm opened to a bright day. Rain settled the fire, and the dark storm opened to a bright day. Next to her, she found a healthy baby fawn lay. I am sure you want to know, when the deer was at rock bottom low, facing fire, fear, and travails solo, how did the deer get back its glow? At the moment when the shooter aimed, lightning blinded him and got the lion maimed. In that very moment, rains replaced thunder, putting out the fire and cooling the earth under. Seeing the brave deer's courage, entire universe united to support her embrace. From nature's wild rivalry, easing the way for her delivery. Life is a mystery, and those who seek, life is a mystery, and those who seek are showered with God's blessings unique. What is fated will be, but never lose courage in adversity. The little deer teaches us to turn our adversity into a bright destiny. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful,
That was
beautiful.
wonderful.
You don't need to practice law. You can just write. We know how much we all know how much money there is in that, right? Especially
Right? Wow, I'm almost speechless with that one. Talk about
wonderful.
great storytelling.
Mm.
You had our full attention. I love that
This
you
is
say
my
that in
first
the poem.
experience. I was so scared today. And there were so many
Undivided.
times I said I'll not come.
Oh my, I'm glad you shared it. It was beautiful. Has that been published? Has that poem been published?
Just in on Facebook, just
Okay.
like that.
It's a story. It's a chapbook. It's
Yeah.
a book.
You need to
I
send
write
it
a lot
to
of stories in
Yeah.
poems.
Yes, that was beautiful. And watching you read it, you took us with you. It's like you were looking at the deer. It was awesome. Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you
A lot of
so much.
imagery.
Thank
So
you.
one thing I want to say before, and I think we're about done with this, but one thing I want to say before I forget is that all the attendees today, and I'll share the email address in our chats that we have outside of here. But if you would like to submit a poem and all your stuff so we can put it on the Popstar Poetry site, that would be wonderful. That hint, that might be a good one to submit for there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
marvelous.
was great. Thank you. So who's next? Our fearless leader, the beautiful Annette Tarpley.
Yeah, I struggling to find something to do. So this was a fairly recent one. I've never recited this before. So Sarfraz, I wanted to say. Now you said, Farida, that you were scared to do this, and I'm comfortable with this. But
Yeah.
Sarfraz, as you know, I recently did a poetry slam in person a few months ago in Iowa when I went back, and I was nervous as all get out. It's a different thing, isn't it? When you get up there in front of everybody and you have those poets that are used to doing it that are so
It's
marvelous.
absolutely nerve-wracking. I've done it for almost 2 years now, and I'm going about once or twice a week. and we go to different venues. I've done paid festivals. I've got paid.
Yeah.
So, you know, fantastic. Yeah, got booked in and paid.
The first time you did it, wasn't it horrible the first time you did it?
Yeah, the first time I did it, it was nerve-wracking. It was so nerve-wracking. My heart was beating. My feet was moving up and down, and it was just because, you know, when you're a poet, you show your vulnerability to the whole of the world, what's in your heart and what's in your mind, but then showing it to people in front of you, to a live audience, people in a bar. I've done cocktail lounges, I've done midnight venues and all sorts at the beginning. Not so much now, but they were quite harsh, man. They were quite harsh. But it made me the person that I am now. Almost 2 years down the line, I've been doing open mic and performance. But the nice thing is I'm getting paid for it now, so people book me in. So yeah.
Good, and so you
Good.
should. So you should. So this is I'm not even sure I'm reading this one. It's called Where the Rivers Flow. Where the Rivers Flow. Searching for that peace my heart yearns for in the quietude of night. My mind travels to that special place where the sweet scent of lilacs in bloom perfume the spring air. The glowing full moon highlighting the mountainous silhouetted backdrop. A musical serenade erupts from the silence as I hum a melodic tune, the crickets and locusts lending their instruments to the harmonious blend. Their own concert continues throughout the night, for no words are needed. Notes tumbling effortlessly to the water banks where the rivers flow. My mind, now flooded with the imagery of happier times, the sun now shining in that sacred place where the admission of light sanctifies its beauty. A light breeze cascading over the wildflowers in the meadow as they wave their greeting, butterflies dancing in the air as I listen to the nearby waters rushing over the stationary rocks. My mind at peace, my heart alive, rhythmically beating in awe of my haven where the rivers flow. And that's it.
Awesome, Annette. Love it.
Thank you.
And that's a classic. That's the legend of Annette Tarplin.
Outstanding.
Well, I'm inspired by all these writers here. So there you go.
Well, that had your signature all over it.
We share the inspiration.
Imagery, peaceful, serenity.
I always like, don't you love painting? Don't you love doing imagery and painting?
Yeah, that was
and taking people places with you. I love doing that.
Thanks for taking us with you on that journey.
On the journey, yeah, it's a wonderful place where the rivers flow. So we have some comments from some viewers. We I don't know who this is, but it's Trikey. Hello. So hi, and we have Ty back for session. He was here on session 1, and he was very attentive. And then we have hello from downstairs. Downstairs. Are we talking about down under, like Australia? Downstairs. Anybody? Is that? And then we have bars, which is kind of a woo thing from Tyrone. So thank you for joining us, y'all. And this is round 3, final round. We don't have as many. This will go fast. I'm going to start with Dr. Ratan Ghosh. We kind of skipped you for that round because we had you do 2 since you got kicked out before. So instead of starting at the beginning, I'm sure Greg will graciously give you his position. If you want to recite for us, sir, that would be lovely. Doctor, can you hear me or?
Yeah. Thank you for calling me again. I'm reading a poem from this book. Before reading this poem, I want to share you In the last month, I went to a crematory ground. An old woman died, and then I went to the crematory ground, and sitting there, I wrote this poem titled Procession. Procession. The bed is ready in the busy schedule of fire. The procession of dead bodies lined. The procession of dead bodies lined like the fallen leaves, waiting to meet the last rites. The bell is ringing in a period of intervals to wipe out the tears of many faces, slowly like the dry soils of hot summer, to overshadow the entire drama of life. Slowly like the dry soils of hot summer, to overshadow the entire drama of life. Standing so close, I feel the power of flames. Standing so close, I feel the power of flames. Welcoming all, including the heap of hate, anger, and blames. In the bed full of flames, in the bed full of flames. Silent, silent, so silent all. Silent, so silent, so silent all. Looking at the burning hall, looking at the burning hall. Thank you.
That's awesome, sir. I love the way you recite.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Marvelous, marvelous. Very good, very good. So, aren't you all impressed with all of us today? Look at us. So, what talent that we have in this one session. So, but we're not getting paid for it. But maybe Sarfraz will go into his coffers and pay us all since he's the one that's earning money doing it. So, ha ha. He can pay us like 25 cents a piece. I don't know what that is in your money, but
I think it's a bit ad hoc. I think some pay and some don't. The big festivals will pay, but it depends on your name. You've got to get a name out there, and I think that's the hardest thing.
Look at you that you have created your name. So I'm so proud of you. And I even
thank you, Annette.
I shared a part of that because I wrote a book once with you. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, well I've got the book here. I've got the book.
That was a great book, actually, wasn't it?
It still is a great book. People still read from. People actually read from it, and actually send me the readings of them reading our poetry all around the world. So I get loads of. That book has done amazingly well and still is doing well. So yeah,
you get recordings of mine. You need to share those with me.
They've read. There was one person who read, which is really weird, in Africa, and my poem "A Night in Ronnie Scott's," which is about a jazz club in London, and she goes that that's her favorite poem, but she's in Africa, so it's kind of weird, so kind of strange. Anyway, yeah, it's still doing all right. It's out there.
Very good. Very good. Doctor, that was beautiful poetry, and I'm so glad that you joined us today and were able to hop back on. So thank you, sir. So next, I think we go to Greg Etsell. You are topping it off, sir. So if you would go ahead and recite your beautiful poetry.
Thank you. My last poem is called The Symphony in Nature. This is it. The sun dances across the sky, so just stand by the river and listen to the symphony of sounds like the birds chirping, frogs croaking, and water flowing. It sounds like a harp in the wind, the symphony in nature. The symphony in nature as you listen to the harmonica whistle like a train, and the swans that dance across the pond that bond together like ballerinas. The symphony in nature as the wind sounds like a clarinet and a flute, the sound of a Renaissance instrument called the swan, and you can hear it all around in nature. The symphony in nature. Thank you.
Beautiful, Greg. Beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Thank
Beautiful. As
Thank
the,
you.
as the word beautiful as can be.
Thank you very much.
How long have you been writing, Greg?
Since 2016.
Very good.
Wow.
Work.
Wow,
Beautiful.
Greg.
You're
Amazing.
always supportive of people in the community, so thank you for all that you do as well.
Oh, thank you.
And we have the handsome, debonair Cristian. You are up.
Thank you. Thank you, Manita. Well, this next poem is like a liberating poem because I get out of my system a lot of things that I had accumulated in my soul. And as a matter, as a way to complain, but not with the person, but with the with the paper, the computer. I wrote this, and if someone's listening to me, you know this is for you. So, the poem name is the push. Here you are, devoted pusher, cleaning boots and creating design of the ego in other souls besides your own. In the deepest nights, next the scent of poetry, are the touching flowers that cleanse solitude. The grass inside your world nibbles the reasons why all sentences are located in that same place out of you. I am nothing. Of that I am sure. But you pretend to be something, pushing in the edge of convenience anything better than the truth, beyond your own dignity. Thank you.
Great, Christian.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
know I know Spanish is your first and native language, but you write so beautifully in English. You really do.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Manita. I try. Thank you to all of you.
Guess who
This
can't
is
write? Guess who can't write in Spanish?
I cannot write in Spanish. No, no. I wrote it directly in English because sometimes for me it's even easier to write direct to the paper in English than making the translations.
So when
Because
you
my
write in English, you just write in English. You don't write in Spanish first and then interpret it.
no, I write directly in English because my vocabulary in Spanish is kind of very special. I use words that normally the people who talk in Spanish they don't use. So translation in English would be like I've done it, no doubt about it. But I believe that English is such a rich language and it's a way of expressing yourself on a very poetic way also. I write to sometimes and most of the time write direct in English. So I took a chance and I did it. Yay!
So I was thinking about you a minute ago when Farida was saying her poem, and she had in her poem "Que sera sera," and I know.
See, yeah. That's the sense, but it's also in Italian.
Yeah, but you know that song, right? Because you're a song
Yeah.
person. Are you gonna sing it for us?
When I had children on my own, I asked the Father, what will I be? We Pretty, we will be rich. That's what they say to me. Que será, será.
Sarah, Sarah,
Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see.
for me
Que
to
será,
see.
será.
Very
Sarah.
good. And Kathy
Well,
Joe is a great singer. You're not singing anything today.
also, yes, yes, she sings beautifully. Your microphone is deactivated, my dear Katie.
Kathy Joe is scared to death. We're going to
You're
call.
muted, Katie.
Am I next?
There you go.
Okay. This last one is Dreamscape of My Mind. Within my peaceful mind, an ethereal scene unfolds just like magic, a delightful sweet dream. Soft rays of bright sunrise infuse my ready soul. The scent of sweet flowers just makes my psyche whole. Fresh, crisp morning zephyrs wind gently through the hills, while birds with breasts bursting fill the air with their trills. Purple mountains of bliss from horizon's edge rise, filling with ecstasy's thrills and candy for my eyes. Majestic and lovely, spicy evergreens soar, piercing the blue heavens as sweet blessings downpour. What a dreamy landscape has just formed in my mind. Lagging spirits are renewed, giving me gifts that are kind.
True Kathy Joe. Beautiful.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Love
you.
it. And you're also,
Yeah.
Extraordinario, Katy, extraordinario.
if I remember right, Kathy Joe, you are an expert at limericks as well.
Oh, yeah. I love rhyme. That's my best thing that I love. And also having multiple rhymes in lines. I don't always do it, but sometimes it comes to me that way. And so I continue the whole poem that way. And I love rhythm and I love rhyme. And I mean, I like just poetry in general, but those are my, I guess you'd say, my strong points.
Indeed.
Katie, you speak a little bit of Spanish, don't you?
Oh, a little, not much.
Hola.
I understand maybe a little more than I can speak.
Um,
But
yeah,
that's a great, like I said, magic to speak languages and understanding other way of expressing themselves.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
indeed.
Yes,
Indeed.
a marvelous poem, by the way.
poetry. Thank you. Poetry is magic. Poetry does something that it's its own language in any language.
Indeed.
It is. It
Awesome.
is.
Indeed.
We have the lovely Zan up next, and can't wait to hear your next.
Yes, and please
Wow. Yes.
enlighten us with your poetry, please.
The language of our soul. I say poets for president, right? The poem that I'm going to share is called Poetic Roar, and it's to celebrate what we do, who we are. May our voices be as loud as the roar of a million monarch butterflies, as fierce as the sound of Gideon's army, as reflective as Ecclesiastes, as knowable as Revelations, as dominant as decoy tanks crossing the Rhine River, 1945. Poets flourish in truth and stillness. Our words are virtuous swords. We boldly declare victory over complacency, fear, and hatred. We stand for all things good. Our expressions cascade, waterfalls splashing. Lyrics flow from our hearts to yours. Inspiration rushes to evoke empathy and action. May you be encouraged to do better, empowered to be better. You cannot escape our powerful poetic roar. Thank you.
Fabulous, man.
Wow, love
Fabulous.
that. Love that poetic.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and
Yeah, I'm feeling it today. We are
outstanding.
roaring.
Outstanding.
Zan always has so much wisdom in her poetry.
Awesome.
Thank you, Annette.
Very insightful, and which takes us to Sarfraz. You've deviated a little bit. You are no longer solely the romantic poet. I think you went outside your box a little bit. I don't know if we do. I don't think we need to bury the romantic poet. I think we need to. Some down the road, we'll call you back, and then you can unleash it again. But
I think I don't know. I think I have. If you look at my writing, I think a lot of the early stuff was a bit romantic. I'm going to end with a romantic piece though, which I think you like. This is a poem that I entered in a competition, and funny enough, it didn't win or anything like that. But I just absolutely love it. It's called The Dance of Angels, and I'm sure you love this. We move together close enough to feel our souls move in time, synchronized in perfect harmony, eye to eye, flesh to flesh, two bodies moving closer, breathing it all in. Our hands touch, and the dance of angels begins. Thank you.
That's very cute. I like that. Cute.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
That
Oh,
was
thank you,
awesome.
Captain. Thank you. The Dance of Angels.
Yeah.
There's a legacy in each verse.
You're so
Then, I'm sorry. I wanted to
Thank
say something
you.
about your poem also, because you both are very great poet and poetess. You all are. But it's something in each style of each poet reveals and reveals something that is greater even than the verse, their soul.
Mm.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Cristian.
That means a huge amount. I think I like to get people's books, especially poets books, because you don't see bits of their work. You see the whole person, and you get to feel the different layers that they have. And I think I can I think Zan probably agrees with me. I think everyone agrees with me. So if you can, if you like a poet, invest and buy the book, because you'll see the whole range of poetry that do. And Annette's right. I don't really write too many romantic poems. That was one or two that I wrote in the last books. But I think I'm a bit more hard hitting these days. To be fair, a bit more political, to be fair. But no, thank you.
Yes, marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
Farida, you're up again, and we can't wait to hear what you unleash.
I think Sarfraz was on romantic poems, so I was just looking out on my phone that should I pick up one romantic poem which I had written. So here it is. It is a poem on how a lover, just give me up. It is an expression of a lover's feelings, describing the beauty of his beloved through his eyes. So I'll be reciting that poem. I've called it Rhapsody of Love. Is it a gentle caress or a tease or the soft murmuring touch of breeze? Is it the radiance of your charming smile or the shining sun's bright profile? Are those dazzling diamonds your eyes or glittering stars in the skies? Are the silky dark curls your hair or the soft fluffy clouds flowing in the air? Smooth and tender, are they your lips or curvy waves unfurling on beach trips? Are those rosebuds popping out in snow, or your pink cheeks in its velvety glow? A goddess of rich, abundant booty, mesmerizing with your heavenly beauty. You are a wonder of wonders beyond man's conception, and only in my eyes does your beauty find perfection.
Oh
Thank you.
my God.
That's awesome.
Beautiful,
Oh, very good.
beautiful.
Very good. Awesome.
Outstanding, outstanding, very outstanding.
That was magnificent.
Beautiful.
That was wonderful. Thanks, Frida. Thank you. I enjoyed
Outstanding.
it.
Enjoyed it.
Thank
That
you. Thank
is
you.
very beautiful.
Yeah, indeed. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go philosophical. I think we're down to me. I was gonna go philosophical. Should I do philosophical or romantic? Which one? No one's
We are in the way of romantic poems.
Yeah,
romantic.
a bit of both, but I like the romantic bit.
We're in a romantic
We'll
mood.
do
Yeah.
romantic.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are.
Problem is, I
So
can't
other
find
open mic will be could be philosophic,
a philosophical.
but this is definitely romantic.
Yeah, romantic.
So
Yes.
it's interesting because I'm sitting here looking for it, and I don't know, I can't find it, but I think I'm looking in the wrong index. Time. It's time for us.
But philosophy can be romantic too. So
Um, for us. Okay, I think that this is it. All right. And wow. Um, don't mean to be but apparently my phone has forgotten about it. Do y'all keep all your stuff in your phones? Your poetry? No,
I don't.
you don't. Well, it
yeah, sometimes yes.
might be a good thing. So I think instead of that, I'm going to do another one that I've done a few times. It's called "Rest My Beloved." I like this one too, so I'll do that one because I'll be able to find it. She says, as she can't find it. Here it is. Rest my beloved. um, Rest, my beloved, for you are tired, your body limp and weary. Your eyelids are heavily laden with burdens, your vision blurry. I will lie down beside you. My head rests on your smooth rising chest. Feel my heartbeat in tandem with yours beneath my feminine breast. Your breath, the sweet scent, a masculine musk so very fine. Taste of your lips, a faint tartness, mimicking aged rhubarb wine. Daisy with plucked petals. He loves me not. He loves me always wins. Resting beneath your furrowed brow, secrets of unspoken sins. Angel wings pass by your long lashes. Eyes flutter and close again. Breeze flowing through curtained windows. Calm relinquishing to the wind. Do you dream of dark imaginings? Relentlessly they invade your sleep. As I watch your smile vanish, your face contorts. Silent tears I weep. Take my hand, my beloved. Let us escape to a wayward land, where ocean waters shall greet bare feet on protected virgin sands.
Outstanding.
Ooh, love that.
Wonderful, Annette. Wonderful.
Beautiful,
Wonderful.
Annette. Beautiful.
Yes, lovely.
That was beyond lovely.
Yes.
Alan did a
Rhubarb
much better
wine.
job of that one too, so you know.
And
So
now you make me want rhubarb wine. I've never had it.
I girl, come to me with Iowa. We'll go to the Amish community. We
Oh,
can have us some rhubarb wine.
all right.
Yeah, they have. It's well, you know, they have to put lots of sugar in it to make it palatable. So I love rhubarb, but it's not a big thing here in the South. You don't see them make many things with rhubarb. I remember when I first moved here, I made a rhubarb cake and I took it to some potluck and nobody ate it.
Oh.
And
Oh.
what's wrong with you people? You don't like rhubarb. So, so we have come to an end of this session, but I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed having you all here. You're all very near and dear to my heart. And
Thank you, Annette.
Time.
Yes.
and marvelous poets and some beautiful poetry. So we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and
Anyway,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank you,
much.
Annette. You're
You're
wonderful as always.
I'm sorry we couldn't pay you, Sarfraz. I know you're getting paid these days, but
You'd have to book. You need to book me in early. Get me early.
send us your bill later. We'll pay you then. So
It's in the post.
Thank you. You're all wonderful. Thank you so
it
much.
might take us a couple years to be able to afford you, but we'll eventually.
Oh, bless you.
So,
Thank you, Manita. Take care. Take care. I love you. Thank you so much for
Bye,
everything.
everyone.
bye, everyone. Good open blessings to y'all.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.